South Africans stood aghast today as Parliament was abruptly and unprecedentedly shut down by a raging verbal battle between Patriotic Alliance leader Gayton McKenzie and President Cyril Ramaphosa. What was meant to be a sober post-budget policy debate quickly spiraled into a combustible clash, laying bare the raw political undercurrents fermenting beneath South Africa's fragile coalition government. The spectacle shocked not only the chamber but the nation at large. It ignited heated debate about the collapse of leadership etiquette, the vitriolic nature of political rhetoric, and the growing sense of instability in the country's most important legislative body. The drama began when McKenzie rose to speak during the second round of the debate. Known for bluntness and controversy, he wasted no time in unleashing a scathing attack on the president. His speech was searing. He branded Ramaphosa a coward, an enabler of corruption, and a leader who had failed the people of South Africa. "You are a weak leader, Mr. President," McKenzie bellowed. "You greet the wicked and turn your back on the starving. This nation is not broke. It is broken by your silence." The remarks drew immediate fury from ANC benches. MPs heckled, shouted, and tried to drown out the tirade. The speaker's repeated warnings did little to calm the storm. Then, in a moment rarely seen, Ramaphosa himself rose, visibly shaken and unusually emotive. Turning directly to McKenzie, he lashed out. "And you, Mr. McKenzie, are nothing more than a political opportunist masquerading as a revolutionary. You talk of the poor while having dinner with billionaires. Your rhetoric is empty. Your fury is for the show." The chamber erupted. MPs leapt to their feet, yelling, jeering, pointing fingers, and hurling accusations across the benches. The speaker's gavel was useless against the escalating noise. Security staff were put on alert as insults of treason, hypocrisy, and betrayal flew. Decorum vanished. For the first time in years, Parliament was reduced to chaos so complete that the Speaker took the extraordinary decision to end the session prematurely. Such a collapse during a national policy debate is almost unheard of. Yet even after the chamber was cleared, tensions spilled into the corridors, where MPs continued shouting until staff had to physically separate them. The entire breakdown played out live on national television. Within minutes, clips of the incendiary exchange were viral across social media platforms. Twitter, TikTok, and Facebook lit up with memes, furious commentary, and competing narratives. Hashtags like #Ramaphosev's McKenzie and #Parliament Meltdown trended almost instantly, capturing the national mood. Public response was sharply divided. Supporters of McKenzie hailed him as a fearless truth-teller who dared to confront a failing president head-on. "He said what we are all thinking," one user wrote. Others saw only reckless grandstanding, accusing him of humiliating Parliament and degrading its integrity. Ramaphosa's allies insisted his outburst was justified, claiming that he was pushed beyond endurance by a deliberate provocation. Political commentators wasted no time dissecting the confrontation. What we witnessed today was not just a collapse in parliamentary etiquette but a glimpse into the dysfunction of our political leadership, observed analyst Zanele Luchalai. It was raw, unfiltered frustration. The coalition system is under strain, the economy is bleeding, and citizens are angry. That explosion in Parliament was a reflection of pressure building across the country. Luchalai warned that if such behavior becomes normalized, democratic institutions will erode further. Reactions from opposition parties mixed outrage with concern. The DA and EFF both called for a formal investigation into the conduct of both leaders. The DA accused McKenzie of undermining constructive debate through inflammatory rhetoric, while the EFF faulted Ramaphosa for abandoning presidential dignity. Both demanded disciplinary action to restore order and accountability. Beneath the theatrics lies a deeper malaise. The clash between McKenzie and Ramaphosa symbolizes widespread disillusionment with government. Coalition politics are unstable, and there is a growing belief that leaders are consumed with infighting instead of solving national crises. For many, today's debacle was not entertainment but evidence of a democracy under strain. Ordinary South Africans watched with a mixture of anger and exhaustion. In townships and rural areas, citizens struggling with blackouts, water shortages, joblessness, and food insecurity saw their representatives bickering instead of debating solutions. "We need food and jobs, not fireworks," one viewer lamented on Facebook. Civil society groups echoed those frustrations. Some called on Parliament to restore respect and transparency in debates, warning that unchecked hostility could deepen polarization and corrode public trust in democracy itself. Others pointed out that this was yet another signal of a government disconnected from the daily realities of its people. As the dust settles, pressing questions remain. Was this eruption a one-off display of anger, or the beginning of a new era of open hostility in Parliament? Can leaders recover dignity and refocus on governance, or has the legislative chamber itself become another battleground in South Africa's wider political disintegration? With elections looming and public faith at an all-time low, today's meltdown may well mark the start of a stormy new chapter in the country's democratic journey.